Avinu Malkeinu Ein lanu melech Ein lanu melech Elo ata Avinu Malkeinu Ein lanu melech Ein lanu melech Elo ata Ay 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 la ay la 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 I was coming home from shul Friday night. Up on the third floor on a balcony, there was a little kid singing. A little kid, with a really good voice, was singing, Yet, Nikava, Grameva, Adneva, ay, la, 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 ay, la, 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 ay, la, 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 La 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 Okay.
What are the words?
It's Ruski. Нет, нет, никого, кроме. I don't know.
No.
You know what? You remember what it means?
No, something.
Over there, they came from Russia. So that's probably where my father.
Yeah.
Heard it.
Okay. Page 54. Likrat Hitchut Hagdola towards the great renewal. Chodesh Elul hu Chodesh Mod Amok. Elul is a very deep month. זה החודש בו אנו מכינים את עצמנו להיות אנשים חדשים. We're preparing ourselves to be new people. כולם יודעים שתמיד בשבת שלפני ראש החודש, שבת מברכים, מכריזים על החודש שיבוא. So everybody knows that on Shabbos before the new month, we always announce the new coming month, right? But אבל לפני חודש תשרי, but before the month of Tishrei, לפני ראש השנה, לא מכריזים, we do not make any announcements about when it's going to be ראש חודש. אתם יודעים מדוע? Do you know why? And the Shlomo explains, because מפני שבראש השנה כל החודש, הכל חדש לגמרי. Because in Rosh Hashanah, not only is the new month new, everything is new. Or Chadash Yored Mishamayim, a new light is coming down from heaven. ואי אפשר לדבר עליו לפני שהוא מופיע, and we cannot speak about it before it shows up. כולנו מתחדשים, לגמרי מתחדשים. We are all being renewed, completely renewed. In other words, we're not just continuing, like, it's not like, okay, like, like we made it up to Rosh Hashanah and now we're continuing into the next year, but rather everything is being renewed. It's like the day of the creation of the world, right? And Hashem is deciding to renew the creation, not just to continue the creation, but also to renew it.
What's the difference between mitchadshim and in the title hitchadshot? Why is one happening?
Hitchadshut is renewal. Mitchadshim is we are being renewed. Mitchadshim is reflexive.
I have a question. Things we learn throughout the year, on no matter what holiday it is, no matter what day, are those things that we're supposed to bring into our day-to-day life? Like, are these things that are certain learnings and teachings, are they in order for us to take in and live our day-to-day life this way?
Yeah.
So it's like from everything we have, from every holiday, we gather as much as we can,
right,
and try living our life with that every day.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, it's like this is telling us that from Rosh Chodesh Tishrei, it's everything is new, but it's also a reminder that every second, every breath, every moment given to us
is new.
Is new.
Yeah. Very good.
Can you elaborate on that? You said that everything is new all the time. Can you elaborate?
I'm a simple yid, right? But I have a deep connection to Purim. Purim is very, very close to my heart. I draw from the power of Purim into my day-to-day life, and I try living that way all the time. If it's matanot ish lerehel, if it's matanot la'evyonim, if it's this extra power of simcha to always be coming out of me. It's something that I pulled from Purim.
Very nice.
That's what I learned from Purim. And
it's what he took away with him. What he took from Purim.
And Pesach, it's all about redemption. It's all about becoming free of your Mitzrayim. And every time I hear the word Mitzrayim, Mitzrayim, I bring it into my day-to-day life. Every day we have Mitzrayim that we need to go through. So
very nice. You got it?
I never thought of that. Like, to give out like a word.
Baruch Hashem. Okay, let's go on. בשבת שלפני ראש השנה אנחנו קוראים בתורה. Shabbos before Rosh Hashanah, we read in the Torah, Parshat Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kolchem Lifnei Hashem Elokechem. You're all standing here today before God. Roshechem, Shiftechem, Ziknechem, V'Shatchechem, your leaders, the leaders of your tribes, your elders, your police. V'chol ish Yisrael, and every Jewish person, Tapchem, your children, Neshechem, your wives, V'gerecha Asher B'kerech Machanecha, and the converts in your community. V'chotei B'tzecha Ad Shoev Meimecha, from your wood choppers to your water carriers, V'avrecha B'vrit Hashem Elokecha, to pass through in the covenant with Hashem your God. So what does this mean? So it says Reb Shlomo, Kulam Amdim, page 55, Kulam Amdim Lifnei Hashem, everyone is standing before God. HaYehudi HaNamuch B'yoter, VaYehudi HaGavoa B'yoter. From the lowest to the highest deed, from the water carrier to the leaders of the community, of the tribes. הצדיק הכי גדול וגם היהודי הכי להפך, from the highest tzaddik to the Jew who is the most opposite. כולנו, every one of us. So יש פירוש נפלא של הרבים על מלכותי ביתך ועד שואב מימיך. There's an amazing teaching from the rabbis about the wood chopper and the water carrier. אנחנו צריכים להתפלל, we have to pray, שלהברכה בברית השם אלוקיך, we have to pray that the going through, entering into the covenant with Hashem, יהיה בבחינת חוטא ביתך עד שואב מימיך. That it should be in the aspect of wood chopper and water carrier. What does that mean? המילה עץ באה מאותו שורש כמו המילה עצה. The word eitz is related to the same word as eitzah. The word for tree, eitz, ein tzadik, is from the same root as eitzah, which means advice. What we're saying is, Ana ribono shel olam, please, Master of the world, כדי שנזכה באמת להתחדש בכניסה לבריתך, in order that we should really merit to be renewed entering into your covenant, תן לנו עצה טובה. Give us some good advice. תן לנו למצוא את האנשים שיתנו לנו את העצות הטובות. Give us the people, help us find the people that will give us good advice. וגם שואב ממך, and also as far as the water carriers, ריבונו של עולם, Master of the world, אני רוצה לא רק ללמוד, I want to not just learn Torah, אני רוצה לשתות את התורה. I want to drink the Torah. אני רוצה לשתות את החיים. I want to drink life. אני רוצה להיות שיכור מאהבה. I want to be drunk with love. אני רוצה להיות שיכור על שבת ויום טוב. I want to be drunk over Shabbos and Yom Tov. I want to be drunk for Shabbos or drunk with Shabbos and Yom Tov.
Drunk, huh?
Right? Shikor, yeah, in other words, I want not to be drunk on Shabbos, but rather to, but to
Get
be
drunk
on,
because of Shabbos.
that Shabbos is what should make me drunk.
Yeah.
We actually say or
He's just explaining. No, he's explaining what the idea is. Okay, so what he's saying is that he's just expressing a prayer. Okay, you understand? He's saying that Hashem, the term chotei beitzecha, the wood chopper, so being that the word eitz and the word eitzah, so we're in other words, we want to have good advice. We want to have leaders. We want to have leaders who can give us good advice, and we want to be able to drink the Torah, like the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says, "V'hevei shoteh batzama et divrayim." Drink the words of the Chachamim with thirst, just like a thirsty person really mamash appreciates every drop of water that he's drinking. So we should appreciate, we should want to drink the words of the Torah. Chaim. Well timed, Mr. Purim. Good. Okay.
It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And just now I'm beginning to understand it.
Well, don't be surprised. Everything that you learn the first time, you obviously learn it better the second time, and then even better the third time, So in the footnote over here, he has a nice interpretation. כדי לעזור לנו לחדש באמת את כניסתנו לברית עם הקדוש ברוך הוא, in order to help us truly renew our covenant with Hashem, אנחנו מבקשים ממנו סיוע, we're asking Hashem for help, שיעזור לנו להתחדש גם בבחינת מוח וגם בבחינת לב, both to renew, to be renewed intellectually and emotionally. In other words, the chotei beitzecha, the wood chopper, he says, Pirusho kabbalat Tzuvanut Chadasha. What it means is to receive a new way of understanding. Eitzot Chadashot.
Like what you said.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like we said. That with times you find different understandings to bring it in. That's the Chotevetzecha.
So Eitzot Chadashot me'atorah hanikret Eitz Chayim. So to get new understanding from your Torah, which is known as Eitz Chayim, the tree of life, right? So Chotei Beitzecha is he's saying like to get new understanding and wisdom from the Torah. גם משמיעת דבריהם של אחרים וגם מהקשב ומחשבות ליבנו אנו שואב ממך ליבנו אנו. That also, in other words, to get new understanding from hearing the words of other people and from listening to the thoughts in our heart.
These two things have to come together.
And shoev memecha perusho, the hitchachut hazrima hanafshit, is the renewal of the flow of life energy. Hayitzia mehagel umehakivaon chidush haitlahavut. So what he means to say over here is that, like when you're drinking a glass of water because you know that you're supposed to drink, it's actually a hot day today, right? You should drink anywhere between 6 to 8 cups of water on a day like this. But to drink like a thirsty person, right? When you're not thirsty and you're drinking because you need to have the water, so then you appreciate the water and so on, right? But when you're really thirsty, you really feel renewed by that glass of water, right? In other words, so he's explaining that we want to learn Torah in such a way that we feel that it's like a renewal of life. It's giving us it's drinking the Torah with thirst and feeling that the Torah is mamish renewing my life.
It's like after taking a drink. You take a drink and then you go, that's good.
Okay.
But this was what we just learned. It reminded me of something that we learned before. The etz, like you said, is connected to etz adat, and that's just knowing what to do.
Yeah.
It's
we want to be connected with Eitz HaChayim.
It's Musar Avot. They just knew what was right before the Torah. And the mayim, drinking the mayim, is the Torah. We learned earlier. In order to get somewhat closer to Musar Avot, Musar Klayot, then we have to learn the Torah. Even if we think we know it, we need to go deeper. And that's the drinking of the water, the learning of the Torah. Without the learning of the Torah, we'll never get to the level of Noah, of the etz.
Very good, very good. So we're on page 56. Now this is a story that takes place on the first night of Slichas. I want to tell you a little story about Rabbi Levi Yitzchak. He was born in 1740, lived until 1809, and was a student of the Mizvitcher Maggid. He was a good friend of the Alter Rebbe. He was known as the lover of all of Israel. He always saw the good in everybody. Once on the first night of Slichot, early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak was going with his assistant to the shul. And all of a sudden there was a strong rain coming down. היה שם בית חרב אחד, there was this sort of dilapidated house, שנשאר מעליו גג בולט כלפי הרחוב. It had an awning going out towards the street. הם נעמדו תחת הגג וחיכו שיפסק הגשם. So Rabbi Levi Yitzchak and his assistant stood themselves under the awning and they're waiting for the rain to stop. פתאום הם שומעים קולות בתוך הבית. Suddenly they hear sounds, loud sounds from within the house. אמר רבי לוי יצחק לגבי שלו. So Rabbi Levi Yitzchak said to his assistant, לך תראות מי נמצא שם. Go take a look and see who's inside. הולך הגבאי בשקט ורואה כנס של כל הגנבים ברדיצ'ב. So his assistant goes quietly and he sees that there's a gathering of all the thieves of Berditchev. They're having a little convention there. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Shemaya mitpalel, and Rabbi Levi Yitzchak hears that this is what's going on, and he's like really, he's mitpalel, he's amazed. Lo yuman, unbelievable. What are they talking about? So הגבאי הולך שוב לראות, ואחר כך אומר לרבי, הם מספחים זה לזה כמה גנב כל אחת השנה. So the Gabbai says that he hears that they're all telling each other how many robberies they did that year, how much they stole. They were having a little bit of a one-upmanship, you know. You stole this, I did a bigger job than you did, right? So nach Rabbi Levi Yitzchak let out a deep sigh. Gedolah u'matchil lifkot, and he started to cry. Levasov hu ratz lebeit hakneset. Finally he ran to the shul. Pateach et aron hakodesh. He opens up the ark v'omer and he says, Ribono shel olam, Master of the world. Ani kol kach meibayesh. I'm so ashamed. אפילו הגנבים כבר מתודים יחד על החטאים שלהם. Even the thieves are already confessing their transgressions. ואילו אני לוי יצחק בן סורסשי, but I, לוי יצחק son of סורסשי, עדיין מחזיק בעבירות שלי. I'm still holding on to my sins. I haven't started to do any tshuva.
Yeah, but the thieves were not confessing I did wrong. They're confessing what I did.
But they were confessing. So that's the point, is that Levi Yitzchak doesn't hear or see anything negative. He only sees it good.
I love how there's so many different stories in the same pattern of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Elul is getting ready for Rosh Hashanah, and in a mimer that we were learning at the yeshiva in the mornings, Dr. Rebbe explains the famous parable about the king in the field, right? המלך בשדה, 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 מלך בשדה, בשדה, מלך בשדה, 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 בשדה. So it's probably a parable that was probably given by the Baal Shem Tov. I think it's attributed to him, but the first one to actually write it down, the first one to write down the parable was the Alter Rebbe, with Schneider Zalman. And you're familiar with the parable, right? And it's the point of the parable is to describe the relationship between Elul and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So Moshe Rabbeinu was up on Mount Sinai how many times? 3 times, each time for 40 days, right? And the first time he was receiving the first set of the Luchot, Then he came down on the 17th of Tammuz and he broke the Luchot because of the golden calf. He went back up to pray to Hashem for another 40 days. And Hashem said, okay, go and bring another set of tablets and I'm going to give you the Torah again. And that took place from Elul till Yom Kippur. The 40 days, the third set of 40 days concluded on Yom Kippur.
How long did he come down for the second?
1 day. Yeah, just
came down, said you're forgiven, went back up.
Yeah, told the people what's happening. So the Alter Rebbe explains that, as you know, during the series of Shuvah, we say the 13 attributes of compassion every day, Hashem Hashem Kel Rachum V'Chanun, and we say them often during Slichot. And she says that really the 13 attributes of compassion, what does that mean? It's a very, very high revelation. And the first of those 13 attributes is with the word Kel, right? And he asks the question, since Elul, we're having such a high revelation, then why is the month of Elul a month of weekdays that you can actually go and do work? Why isn't it like every other Shabbos and Yom Tov? And what he's explaining, the idea that he's expressing here is that on Shabbos and Yom Tov there are great divine revelations, and the fact that we're not allowed to work on Shabbos and Yom Tov is basically so that we should be there and ready to receive the divine revelation. In other words, if we were to work on Shabbos and on Yom Tov, the working would be interfering and not allowing us to receive the divine revelations that are coming down on Shabbos and on Yom Tov. Okay? So since there's such a great revelation happening in the month of Elul, why is the month of Elul a week? Why is every day in Elul a weekday? Why are we allowed to work? Right? In fact, you see, the fact that we're working every day in Elul, so besides the fact that, that we're adding the Psalm 27, the David Hashem Oiri V'Yishi, that we're adding that to the davening, and we blow the shofar. So these are reminders, say, Rosh Hashanah is coming, right? In other words, there's a great revelation coming down, but we're not really that aware of it. Why? Because it's Sunday through Friday are weekdays and work days, and we're busy working, right? So I'm going to pause for a minute, and you guys discuss that for a minute out loud, and I'll even turn this around so that you can sort of we could watch you. And, see what you come up with. We'll be back in a moment, okay? Louder, but you have to talk louder.
Why isn't the month of Elul like Shabbos and Yom Tov? If there's such a great revelation of light.
Well, you can understand that Shabbos a person's behavior and thinking should be different on Shabbos and during the week. So this is only a guess. Therefore, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur should also be different from all the other Yom Tovim, because it's a time for self-examination or tshuva if necessary. I shouldn't say if necessary. It's a different type of yom tov.
So is Elul considered a Yom Tov? Yamim Tovim? Or, because there is something in Elul, but we don't do anything over ordinary.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Because Shalom said, we only add in the davening that paragraph, and we blow the shofar. Those are the only different things we do on Elul.
That's the behavior.
Right.
But the thinking is different. Elul is the preparation for Rosh Hashanah.
So on Shabbos, we don't work because we can't be focused on work and on Shabbos in order to receive the light of Shabbos. But in order to receive the light of Elul, wouldn't it be easier if we were off work? To be able to do that thinking and to focus on what our goals are for the future.
In the perfect world, yes. The perfect world, what you say is right. However, practically speaking, it's not practical to take off a whole month.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Parnas is very important. Even though people say Parnas is very important to people. Even I'm not working now, but nevertheless, I think of the pension that are coming in. I've had experience with the Canadian government that sometimes they get mixed up and my pensions don't arrive in time. I mean, so far they have arrived in time. But if I'm going to take off a whole month, besides, I don't think the average person can spend a whole month doing tshuva.
I think it's one of the things we need to try bringing into our day-to-day life. Like, this is what we're supposed to take from Chodesh Elul, not only to be, yes, to have more focus on Elul, on these things, but to arouse that energy to be with us all year long.
Okay. So
we didn't come to any agreement.
That's okay. That's good. Let me put it this way: if we were supposed to make the month of Elul completely Yom Tov, yeah, but we would be able to do it. Let's put it that way, okay? But you're right. Practically, it's like a little bit beyond our thinking.
It's also difficult every Shabbos to put away a Vachadika thing, a weekday. It's also hard. I mean, it's a famous joke, Nishtan Shabbos Geret, when
right.
Two men are talking, this is Shabbos, I have a card. I mean, people take that Nishtan Shabbos Geret seriously. I mean, I don't.
Okay.
I didn't.
So the Alter Rebbe gives the parable to explain the difference between the 13 attributes of compassion as they're being revealed in the month of Elul and the way they're being revealed in Yom Kippur. Okay? The parable is as follows. The king is in the field. He was out there somewhere, maybe on a hunting trip, who knows? It's just a parable. And now he's coming back to the city, and he's coming back, and he's going back to the palace. So while he's out in the field, Hamelach Basadeh, while he's out in the field, all the citizens are welcome to go out and greet him. He's not in his full splendor. He's not in his full royalty. He's not wearing all his royal garments and so on. And being that he's out in the field, everybody is welcome to go out and say hi, hello. And the king receives everyone with a cheerful countenance. But then he continues towards the city, and everyone starts to follow him. And everyone can follow him into the city, but when he gets to the palace, not everyone can get in. Only the select people can get in, and you can only really get in with permission to enter into the palace. In other words, to get in there and see the full splendor of the royalty, full royal splendor, that's already something extra special, and you can't just go in. So in the field, everybody can welcome the king, but if you want to get into the palace, you have to be on the level. So what the Alter Rebbe is explaining in this parable is as follows: that there is a divine revelation taking place in the month of Elul, but that's comparable to the revelation of the king in the field. The revelation of godliness from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur is like the king in the palace. So what's in effect happening? In other words, revelation of the 13 attributes of compassion during the 10 days of Tshuva, the servants who made Tshuva from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, is on the level of receiving revelation, being in the royal palace, getting a much more intense revelation of Hashem's godliness. So what's the point of the meeting with the king in the field? Basically, the king is out there to give us the strength to renew our strength in coming closer to him, coming closer to Hashem. Yeah, stay with me for another minute, Michal. Right? The king is there to give us you see what happens. You yourself were sort of saying this a couple of minutes ago. You said even every Shabbos is not an easy thing, right? It's not easy. Now, what happens very often is that you'll see in the month of Tishrei, with all the holidays and everything, like people are fresh, are excited about their Yiddishkeit and so on, and then after Sukkot is over, right? Mashiach Ruach Amar Geshem, the wind is blowing, the rains are coming. What was his name? The Rav Meir Shapiro of Lublin. He said, Mashiach Ruach Shikshin Avek the Ruchnius, enough spirituality. Now we got to go and get involved with the physicality, right? But as we get back involved with the physicality of the world, we start to forget where we were at during Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and so on. We start to forget how special it was and so on. And then Nebuch, it could happen that one day forget to do this mitzvah, another day forget to open up a chumash, and forget to open up a sefer, forget to learn, forget to say a bracha, and maybe even worse, chas v'shalom, that not only did I forget to do certain things, but I maybe did some things that weren't right, and so on, and people end up thinking that they're like really, really far away from Hashem, right? And sometimes it's so bad that a person might even begin to think, do I really have a connection anymore? Do I still have any connection with Hashem, with my King? Shalom. Do I still have any connection? Yeah, please sit down. Do I still have any connection? So the king coming out into the field is Hashem is coming out and sort of like making it easy for us to connect. He's making himself available to remind us that we still are connected.
Sounds like Aaron, who's Ohev Shalom and Rodef Shalom.
He's down with the people. Hashem is coming out and saying, you thought that you're no longer connected, but you don't have to take it off. It'll pour like that, yeah. You thought that you're no longer connected, but the reality is the very fact that you see me and that you say hello to me, that's the connection.
It's also a reminder for us. It's a reminder that Hashem, if Hashem is right here, then talk to him. The king is here for you to approach him.
Okay, so now the king is continuing to the palace, right? And now that you see that you still have a connection to the king, so you want more of it, right?
You want to be one of those people who gets
so
it.
Now we follow the king to the palace, right? And we realize that, okay, I really want to get into the palace. So the revelation of the king in the month of Elul is an itinat koach, is giving us the energy, is giving us the koach, it's giving us the strength to not to give up and to continue towards being closer and closer with Hashem, with His Torah and so on.
Break down the walls.
See, I didn't know this in a Malachite. I didn't know this when I was in my 40s. I thought God had abandoned me and then forgotten about me.
I didn't know in my 40s either.
No,
the people think, you know, if Shlomo told the story once that he was in Texas somewhere, and Friday afternoon he went to the mikveh, and in comes this big guy, like looking like a real big Texan, you know, big cowboy hat and a big chain around his neck, you know, big necklace, and hey, you know, looks like what are you doing here in the mikveh type of thing, you know? Anyway, so he says to Shlomo, he says, you look like you're surprised. You look like you're surprised that I'm here. And Shlomo says, yes. He says, well, let me tell you my story. He says, I'm a Holocaust survivor. And my father was a chassid by the Vishnitzer Rebbe. And once when I was a little boy, my father took me with him to Vishnitz for Yom Tov, for the holidays. And it was very, very crowded. So my father didn't want me to get trampled. So he went and he sat me on the floor under the table by the Rebbe's feet. And the Rebbe was aware that I was there, and every so often he would hand me a piece of challah. And then the Rebbe said a teaching, and he said, Yidden, you should know, even if you find yourself feeling like really far away from Yiddishkeit, really far away from God, nevertheless, if out of the blue you feel like doing a mitzvah, don't make any calculations and start thinking, I'm so far away, I'm not religious anymore, I'm not this, I'm not that. You got an inspiration to do a mitzvah? Do it. And then when he finished giving his teaching, he sort of like looked down at me under the table and he said, "Das gehört, mein Kind? You heard what I said? Whenever you feel inspired to do a mitzvah, go ahead and do it. Don't make any calculations about whether you're worthy enough or whether you're not worthy enough. Just do it." So he says, "Look at me." He says, this guy says, I don't learn Torah, I'm not keeping Shabbos, I'm even eating on Yom Kippur sometimes, but every so often I get an inspiration to do something. And I remember the words of the Rebbe. You got an inspiration to do something? Go ahead and do it. You know? So Elul is, Hashem is giving us, Hashem is inspiring us. He's giving us, he's renewing our inspiration to come close again. Don't make any cheshbonis about, well, the last 10 months I hardly did anything. You're getting an inspiration now, go ahead, do it, celebrate it. And the king is welcoming your greetings. He's accepting your hello with a cheerful countenance, with a cheerful face. And then he's going to continue on to the palace, follow him, and start getting ready and try to be ready to be invited into the palace so that you can see the king in his full splendor. That's the idea. Okay. So we have a couple of days left for Elul. Did you hear Shofar today?
No.
No? There's a Shofar on the little table. If you don't mind bringing it, I'll bring it. You heard Shofar today? What's your name again?
Malka.
Malka. Shalom. Long time no see.
Yes, a year and a half.
A year and a half. She knows how long she hasn't been here. Wow.
But I enjoy your parshas every week.
Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you. Wonderful.
With a lot of emotion. You write very beautiful.
Thank you. Chaim. Amen. Very good. So we'll continue tomorrow, Mr.